Will the hex be a good beginner disc for me? Can I get it to flip up with my low arm speed? Will it add to or replace other mid-ranges in my bag? Stick around as I try to answer those questions and more. Hope everyone's having a great day. Chief here. Welcome to Fireman Up Disc Golf. And for some of you, welcome back. Today we're going to be chunking around a few hexes. The first hex we're going to chunk around is going to be the Fission Hex Special Edition. And then one that dropped about 3 weeks ago, the Total Eclipse Glow Plastic Hex. The numbers on these are going to be 5, 5, -1, 1. They're pretty neutral flyers. I'm assuming this one's going to probably be a little bit on the stable side since it's glow plastic. A lot of times I'm throwing glow plastic, it's a little bit more on the stable side. I've got a few Fission models that I really like. They're lighter. These are a little heavier. These are 177s. So these are max weight mid-ranges. I know this Total Eclipse came out about 3 weeks ago, but I'm a little bit behind on a few of the videos due to, on my way back from vacation about 2 weeks ago, I got sick and I have been down for about 10 days. I finally got a little bit of energy today. To tell you how bad it's been, I've only thrown maybe for about an hour in 10 days, and I was throwing every day. So that kind of gives you an idea how much lack of energy I've had. Hopefully I got a little bit more energy today so we can get out there and throw some hexes. The other reason why I haven't been able to throw besides being sick is football started back, so I can't use the football field. My birthday's this weekend, and I have heard rumor I might be getting a net, which would be awesome. So we're going to go ahead and get some throwing in. We're actually out here at Melba in Decatur, Texas. It's a nice 6-hole course that plays like 18 holes. It's fairly small, a lot of trees, as you can tell. We're on the back edge of it. Along that tree line's all creek. So we're not going to really throw the holes. The cool thing about it is you can throw across from basket to basket, get some good shot shapes and things like that. So that's what we're going to do today. You know, I want to see if I can get these to flip up to flat, throwing off a hyzer. I want to be able to see you know, how this Fission flies at a max weight for a mid-range. So I'll be curious to see if this takes the place of anything in my bag. And I'm not going to say if it's going to be on hyzer, it's going to be flat, it's going to be Annie. Most people are going to tell you what you throw it on anyway. So I'm just going to throw it just so you can get an idea. My main thing is I just want to see how they feel. Oh, let's start off with a tree first. Seems like I've had more success putting it on just a little bit of an Annie to get it to ride flat. When I try to hyzer flip it to flat, I can't quite get it to flat and it just stays on hyzer. So we're going to do a little bit of flat to Annie, see if we can get it down there. That one rode flat a little bit, but it got up quick and it's just hyzered out. Good fade on it. As far as the feel and everything, I really like the feel of it. It's a little bit shallow. Some people think it's a little too shallow for them. It's just right for me. Got a medium-sized hand right at the point of palming a basketball, but never really could all my life. I'm not bitter about it or anything. So I've got medium-sized hands, and it's a good, comfortable feel for me. I guess you say I like how they feel because it's kind of really all I've thrown. It's not like I could go out and buy 100 discs and pick which one I like the best. I've just had to slowly get discs that I'm familiar with and that I like, and then I'll eventually start branching out and trying different feels and different plastics and everything. But right now, mainly the ones I've got are MVP in the mid ranges, and I like that feel and they're consistent. So my understable Paradox is the same feel. The Detour I carry is the same feel, and now the Hex is the same feel. Fission feels a little bit more beaded, maybe a little more sharp feeling, I guess. Glow feels a little more blunt. Maybe that's why it's a little more stable. I'm not real sure. I'm not good on the mechanics of it and stuff. I don't know what to say. I'm glad it was on camera. There's something I'm forgetting to do. Oh yeah, let's go. As far as the weights and everything, I tend to go a little heavier on my mid-ranges. I feel like if I can get up to a max, or even if I started at a minimum, like if I was down at the minimum weights, depending on where I started, well, I just happened to start at the heavier weights. For the first mid-range I ever got was a Paradox of all things, and it was a heavyweight at 177, I think 175. And so I'm used to that feel, I'm used to that weight. So all my mid-ranges I've been purchasing, I've been trying to get in that same range. So when I grab them, you know, and a lot of people will tell you, and I'll be the first to tell you too, is MVP and Axiom, you know, they're really consistent from disc to disc. And so to be able to have that weight, and then the feel we already talked about, have that same feel consistency, same weight consistency, I know when I grab my disc, I'm pretty much just having to let the disc do the work as long as I put it on the right angle. So that's why I stick with a max. Is it correct? You know, I don't know. It works for me. I don't have all different types of weights because I feel like then I'd be trying to guess where my shots were going to go. And the other nice thing about being all heavyweight for now in the mid ranges, they seem to work a little better for me in the wind. And it's about the only thing I really have heavyweights on. Fairways and drivers are up in the fission plastic, things like that are lighter weight. One of the other questions I wanted to answer with that throwing was, does the Hex complement my bag or does it replace something? Right now, I'd have to say it doesn't replace anything, but it does complement my bag. For my understable mid-range, I have the Paradox, the 5.4 -40. So that's my understable. And then when I picked up the Hexes, I also picked up the Detour, the James Conrad Detour. I'd like to do some more throwing with that, and I'll videotape some of my throwing on that. The Hex is something that I could see complementing the Detour, especially the Paradox, because it's totally opposite spectrum of the Paradox. But I can see it complementing the Detour. I don't see it replacing the Detour. The Detour has that nice flip up. I can flip it up and get it to turn and then have that just very slight fade, or sometimes I can just get that neutral straight flight and it just sits down. So I can't do that with the Hex. So the Hex would be on the other end, and the reason why I would probably add it as a complement is because it's that more overstable disc for me in that mid-range slot. So I don't want to get into having to put the detour on a hyzer and let it hyzer around trees and everything, because it'll push and hyzer, but it still flips up sometimes on me. So it's just not that, it's not that, hey, it's going to be on hyzer and stay on hyzer type thing. Whereas I think the Hex is going to do that for me. If you saw some of those flights, the Fission Hex is not as stable. I think the Total Eclipse is a little bit more overstable. So at this time, being that these are both the same weights, I would probably go with the Total Eclipse as my overstable mid-range, whereas the Total Eclipse is going to give me a harder fade. So if I need to get around a tree a little bit harder or get out a little bit further and get a good hyzer, I think the Total Eclipse is going to do that for me. The Fission Hex, I love the feel of it better than the Glow. I'm not a huge Glow Plastic guy. Other than the stability, if you want a stable disc, it seems like the Glow Plastic is the way to go. I've had a lot of success with Fission Plastic, especially you know, being able to flip up and push. This one, I could get it all about flipped up way better than I could the Total Eclipse. It's just in between that Total Eclipse Hex and that Detour, and I need something a little more stable. It's something this close to the Detour, I'm going to pull out the Detour. So having this in the bag wouldn't get used as much. Now I'm going to practice and play around with it. And even though I like to go heavier weights on all my mid-ranges so they're consistent, I would like to try this in a lighter plastic, maybe in the 160s, and see if I can get some really cool shot shapes out of it. Yes, the Total Eclipse would go in my bag. That would complement the Paradox, the Detour. I actually had an uplink for a day, but I lost it. Yeah, first day I had it, I lost it. Whew, don't tell my wife. Because the Paradox gotten really understable for me. I'm sure that a little bit of that's being beat in and stuff too. This would be my complement, these three here. Hey guys, that's going to wrap it up. I do appreciate everybody jumping on the journey with me. Having a great time. I hope y'all are too. And hopefully, even though that was something I was trying to figure out for my bag, maybe you saw a little bit of those flights and maybe the Hex is interesting to you or something, or you saw one or two throws with the Detour, you can see how that one flies if that's not in your bag. If you do have a Hex in your bag, let me know how it flies for you. For all y'all who don't throw MVP or Axiom, let me know what's similar. I think a Buzz is going to be similar in the mid-range category. I'm just not familiar with other brands. I'm not trying to jump on as a fanboy. It's just that those were the discs I started getting first. They're comfortable for me, and then I'll start building from there. But y'all let me know if there's some disc out there in the mid-ranges that y'all like and why y'all like them. And then maybe you got those categories where you have an understable, a stable, or a neutral. But I even know some people that have all three the same mold. It's just understable, neutral, and overstable. I don't know if I can go that far. I do like having the different varieties, though, of shots. Instead of having to force a disc, you know, you can kind of work with the disc, especially if you can get your form down a little bit. Hey guys, I really appreciate y'all hanging in there and stopping by and joining in on the journey. Man, I cannot believe all the support and everything I've been getting through the channel. I never dreamed of having that much support and so many people jumping in and coming along on the journey. Guys, I really do appreciate it. If you made it this far, you might as well like and subscribe. But guys, y'all have a good one. Like I always say, make a great day.